Hi everyone, my name is Leo and in this video we'll share a demo review of the KMA ENDGAME. First of all, we will hear the unit in action in a demo song, then we will describe the unit in details, and there is a lot to talk about, also explaining how I have used the ENDGAME in an ampless setup, letting you hear some more sounds, and finally I will give you my 2 cents. So I hope you enjoy, and please don't forget to subscribe and like, as it would really help me to make more videos like this. Let's start! Let's now describe the pedal, and there is a lot to talk about as this pedal offers a pretty wide array of features and connectivity options. First of all, this is a dual mono IR loader. Using this knob here, we can select from 6 different cabinet settings, or obviously we can choose to bypass the IR simulations. We have preloaded a vintage 30 IR, a 4x12 greenback and a 4x12 creamback. All the included IRs are Celestion ones and are a mix between 3 microphones that are a Royer 1-to-1, a Sennheiser 4-to-1 and a Shure SM57. And I have to say that they all sound pretty good. Of course, we can load our own IRs, connecting the unit to our computer via USB-C. And we have at our disposal 2 free user slots where we can upload IRs at up to 48 kHz and 500 milliseconds. By the way, as I said, the ENDGAME is a dual IR loader. I mean, you can load 2 IRs at a time, using one on the left side and another one on the right side. And you can do it simply loading your IRs in the appropriate folders in the ENDGAME that has dedicated folders for the left side IRs and the right ones. As an IR loader, of course, the ENDGAME can be used, for instance, with your Tonix or Tonix One, using a profile of an head without the cabinet. But we can use the ENDGAME also with our preamp of choice, for instance the 2-note Revolt. In fact, the ENDGAME offers a power amp simulation, and we can choose among an EL34, a 6L6 or a KT88. And I think it is a pretty useful function, not always available in devices like this. Another interesting feature that this unit offers is the doubler, which can be activated with the left foot switch and can be controlled with the left knob. I found the doubler a very important function when playing live. I actually always like to build up my comping part using 2 tracks, one pump-potted hard right and the other one hard left. In this way I'm typically able to get a pretty wide and powerful sound. Of course, when playing live we can't double track, and here is where the ENDGAME double function really comes to help. I have to say that this doubler really sounds great. I have used this function in the demo song, and let's share how great it sounds in this sound example. Then I would mention the ambience effect that we can control with this little knob here, and that adds a nice reverb to our final tone. And now let me mention two very cool features that are the stereo effect loop and the XLR stereo out. First of all, the XLR stereo out. This is quite important for me, as for instance I can use the endgame as the last pedal in my ampless pedalboard, and thanks to the XLR balanced out I can use long cables to go from my pedalboard to the mixing desk without signal degradation, which is cool. And I can use the endgame as the last effect in my pedalboard, also using the IR loader and the doubler of the endgame, thanks to its stereo effect loop. In fact, in the stereo effect loop I can place my stereo delay and chorus that are gonna be placed after the doubler. Let me explain better this point, spending 2 words about the internal signal routing, as I think it is a pretty important aspect and where the flexibility offered by this unit really shines. Basically, via dedicated switches we can place individually the doubler and the IR before or after the stereo effect loop, as explained in the image in the screen. Now, typically in the stereo effect loop we place stereo effects like delays or choruses, like I have done in my ampless pedalboard. In this use case scenario I prefer to run both the IR and the doubler in pre, I mean before the effect loop. This is a pretty important aspect to take into consideration, as for instance if you put the doubler after the effect loop, then you are gonna double also the effects, resulting in a mess up tone, in my opinion. In fact, when you double track, typically you first record 2 tracks, then you pump out the tracks left and right, and then you apply the effects, and not the other way around. Basically, before the endgame I was obliged to use the walrus canvas at the end of my chain, being obliged to use a dedicated doubler effect before my delays and choruses. Now the endgame solved this problem, offering a pretty nice all-in-one solution. Now these are, I would say, the most important features I wanted to share, even if this box offers a lot more, like an aux in or Bluetooth connectivity to stream our song directly through this device. But let me close this description section with an overview of the I/O, and then we will share how I have used the endgame in my new ampless pedalboard. On the left of the unit we have the XLR out, TS out and the dual headphone out. All these outputs can be used together, and this is cool, as we can send the XLR to the mixing desk and then we can attach our in-ear system directly to this unit, and this is cool as we can potentially reduce the latency of our own guitar in our own in-ear mix. Pretty cool. The aux in is located in front of the unit together with the USB-C connection and the Bluetooth pairing function, as this unit can also stream audio coming from our phone via Bluetooth, as aforementioned. Then on the right side we have the stereo effect loop, the guitar input and the true, which can be used for instance to feed a tuner. Pretty nice. It requires 9 volts at max 490 mA, the weight is 490 grams and the price is $3.99. Now let me share how I have used the endgame in my new ampless pedalboard. I would explain all the pedals used in a different video. Here I would just like to focus the endgame connectivity used. Basically I have the NAM player, which is kind of my tube head replacement, that is gonna to a mono spring reverb, and then it's going to the input of the end game. Then in the loop I have connected the stereo chorus and a stereo delay, and finally the XLR output of the end game are going in my digital audio workstation. So this is a pretty cool pedalboard in my opinion, and the endgame allows me to have a lot of flexibility. First of all, it adds XLR output to run long cables, which is nice. Then I have the stereo effect loop that I can activate or deactivate, and that it is placed after the doubler effect, which is nice. And then, of course, the NAND player offers all the tube amps I would like to use. And as you have heard in the demo song, it sounds pretty nice. I will for sure make a different video about this pedalboard quite soon, I hope, so stay tuned. I'm really in love with this pedalboard actually. Okay, and now let's jump to our 2 cents section of this video. Final considerations here, and please notice that these are gonna be my personal opinions from my specific use case, and you may not agree with me, and this is totally fine. Furthermore, KMA has sent me this unit for free, but this video is not sponsored or paid, and therefore I'm free to tell you whatever I want. First of all, let's talk about the pros. Well, the first pro I would like to mention are the XLR outputs that allow me to run long cable without introducing noise, for instance to connect my ampless pedalboard to a mixing desk. And now I can avoid using the Walrus canvas, which alone is priced $259, just for adding XLR out to my pedalboard. Then I really like the doubler, which solves an actual problem I have live, being myself a lover of hard-panned left and right comping parts. Finally, of course, the stereo loop is nice, together with the well-thought signal chain management explained previously. I think the price is fair, considering the price of a stereo XLR box alone, and that here we also are getting a very nice IR loader and a pretty natural sounding doubler, which can really imitate pretty well a double track part. What I would like to have, well, first of all, the possibility, a foot switch for instance, to activate and deactivate the ambience, which is nice and useful. But actually the only way to activate and deactivate it is using the knob, and obviously it cannot be done live while playing. Then the second little thing is that in order to activate the pedal, you need to physically attach the power cable. I mean, if the power cable is already connected to the endgame and you switch on your pedalboard, the endgame does not switch on, but we need to remove the power cable and connect it again. It's just a little thing, and maybe it can be done with firmware upgrades. Lastly, physical MIDI ports would be nice to integrate this pedal in even more complex ampless pedalboards. All in all, I'm very happy with this unit. It's very useful in an ampless setup like this one, with a lot of very useful functionalities and routing options. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know your opinions about this device in the comment section below. If you have enjoyed the video, please subscribe and ring the bell, as it would really help me to make more videos like this. If you are interested in my IRs or Tonics profile, you can check out the link in the card above or description below, where there is also a link to a playlist of songs of mine. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon, maybe describing this pedalboard.